everybody, and welcome to Electric City Sentai Denzicaster, your weekly walk into the wonderful world of Tokusatsu. I'm your host, Mike, and look who's here! It is Dave from 8-Star Anime. We actually just finally have a day off that coincides with each other. That's what it amounts to.
No doubt.
So, we just got done watching, my tablet here is not going to cooperate. We just got done watching the 1974 motion picture, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla.
Special guest star King Caesar.
Yes, with King Caesar. Before we get into that, real quick, a couple of quick notes. If you want to win yourself a copy of Ultraman on DVD, you do not have long left to do it. Go and check out our video either on Johnny Sacco episodes 19 and 20 or the episode on Johnny Sacco episodes 21 and 22 and leave us a comment on one of those videos. That's how you can enter to win a copy of Ultraman on DVD. It's Season 1, Part 1. And for those people who have asked, it is Region 1. So there's that. If you don't have a way to play Region 1 DVDs, I'm sorry. Also,
barter.
Yes, barter. Also, check out the latest Rage Quit Radio Empyrean Throne episode, our Legend of the Five Rings RPG. Because if you go there and you leave a hashtag to help our players for our June 10th session, then you could find yourself in a drawing to win a copy of Smash Up.
What's the negative one?
The negative one is hashtag Fooling's Will.
Hashtag Fooling Will Bob.
Yes, he loves trolling Bob.
No, Bob loves trolling Bob.
Well, there's that too. And I iggyed Dave in about this in advance because it was only fair. Josh knew about it in advance.
Oh, yes.
Too. You may remember last week we broke out these wonderful things. This is Nissin Top Ramen chicken flavored Pringles.
Which just happens to be chicken flavor is my favorite ramen to begin with.
Okay, well, we will see if the Pringles meet up to Dave's expectations.
I'm expecting that they're going to taste a lot like ramen, only on a potato chip.
Josh and I tried these out last week, and I'm gonna try them again this week with Dave. No. We saved this for the end.
Well, I'm hungry now.
No. This will come at the end, folks. So,
in case it's bad.
Yeah. So, in case we have to save this video.
Well, I saw a YouTuber who does videos for makeup and other things, and she had the Pringles Thanksgiving platter.
Oh, Lord.
Now, while that's an interesting concept, there was like 9 flavors, but there were only like 3 chips of each.
Yeah. Well, this is inspired when we do these, because we did one a while back with peanut butter mochi that we picked up.
Oh, I'm on board for that.
That we picked up from an Asian supermarket in Greenville. And
we should go to Anderson. There's a Taste of Europe, and I think there's an Asian store around that as well.
I don't know if there's one in Anderson, but regardless, we picked some up, and that went over amazingly poorly.
No way. So, it's peanut butter. It's got to be delicious.
No, it don't. I actually didn't mind.
How could the 7,500 mile trip?
I actually enjoyed it a little bit. Josh and Sam both tried that one too and found it less than.
I will definitely have to look that one up.
Less than tasty. But today we are looking at Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. It's been a long time since we looked at a Godzilla flick here on Denzicaster, so we're going to take a little break from watching the different TV shows and just watch a movie. I was going to have notes prepared here on my tablet, but the internet has decided it doesn't like me today.
After watching this 70-tastic film, you don't really need any notes.
So, just a few things. This movie was made in 1974. It is the 14th Godzilla feature film. It is the next to last of the Showa-era Godzilla feature films. There was only one after this, which was Terror of Mechagodzilla, which brought him back. Also worth noting, and I didn't think about this until today, in the Godzilla pantheon of monsters, there are certain ones that are always looked at with a certain degree of reverence as Godzilla's foes. Mothra is one of them. King Ghidorah, the winged three-headed dragon. Rodan, Those are typically the
names
three.
even I recognize, having never seen most of them.
Right. And those are the big three, so to speak. And Mothra had her own movie without Godzilla. She debuted in a solo film. So did Rodan. Ghidra debuted in the movie Ghidra, the Three-Headed Monster, but Godzilla was in the movie too. But they all debuted fairly early in Godzilla's history. This is the last really signature monster to come out of the Showa era, and it's at damn near the end of the time frame.
Yeah, but it's also like a robot version of Godzilla. I mean...
Yeah, but I guess what probably surprised me is it took them 14 films to figure out this was an idea. So, the ones that preceded this were, I want to say the one that comes right before this one is Megalon, who is essentially a giant bug. So that never came
Where
back.
does Jet Jaguar...
He's in Megalon.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh,
that movie, which
I've
I do
seen that one.
I have not. I actually do want to watch that one here for a review one day. But that one was.
You know how sometimes we talk about how the children's voices in anime or dubs sounds like a 23-year-old woman doing the best she can with the script she's got?
Yes.
Jet Jaguar is that movie.
But there was Megalon, which was never supposed to be a Godzilla movie to begin with. It was actually supposed to be a Jet Jaguar movie, and they were scared that he couldn't carry the movie by himself. So they threw Godzilla in.
He was okay.
And then the one before that is Godzilla versus Gigan, I think, which I actually do have back here. And Gigan is sort of up there on the list, but they don't bring him back as often.
He's no Gigan.
And then you had, let's see, Hedorah, which is the smog monster. Ibra, which is the sea monster, which is basically Godzilla versus a giant lobster.
Valhalla, the god of rock and roll.
Yeah, so bottom line is, the later you get in the Showa era, the less, the less memorable the monsters become. But Mechagodzilla is one of the ones that just sticks around. So,
when does Godzilla Jr. show up?
So Minya, which is what he's called in the Showa era, Minya, I think, debuts in the movie Son of Godzilla.
So, I mean, he is in the time period you're talking about?
Yes, he is in the Showa era movies. He's in, about 2 or 3 movies in a row, and then he disappears because I guess he just annoyed the piss out of people.
He sold the merchandise, and they were done.
Yeah, pretty much. So, the plot of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, if you want the full details, that's what Wikipedia is for. But the high-level version of this is, more or less, they call them black hole aliens. So, black hole aliens, which are actually apes. So, space apes come to Earth with the intention of making everyone think Godzilla is bad again, because by this point in the series, Godzilla is a hero. So they're going to make everyone think that Godzilla has gone amok, gone haywire, until the real Godzilla shows up and strips away the fake skin of Mechagodzilla. And the intent is to use Mechagodzilla as a weapon to take over the world. So
I have seen 4 Godzilla films, plus the Matthew Broderick film inspired by Godzilla.
It counts. Toho has accepted that one at this point.
So my amateur at best, the moment Godzilla shows up, I knew he wasn't right.
Okay.
Because his sounds weren't right.
And I think that's by design.
Right. That's what I'm saying. His sound is so iconic. They've been using it for 50-something years.
More or less. The signature Godzilla sound, which was achieved... It was achieved by taking a leather glove, covering it in pine tar, and dragging it across the strings of a cello.
Nice.
So that's how they come up with the roar. But that, or something that sounds suspiciously like that, has been Godzilla's roar forever.
And when this one showed up, it sounded more like a hiss.
Yes, it sounded very mechanical. So, but Mechagodzilla shows up, wrecks shop on Anguirus, who hightails it out of Dodge, and is forever no longer to be seen in this film. But never fear, because we get King Caesar.
Real Godzilla shows up first.
Yeah, real Godzilla shows up, and then King Caesar. King Caesar is the way it's written. King Caesar is the way they constantly say it in the film. But King Caesar, which is basically...
Which is crazy considering that it's an English dub.
Yeah.
It sounded like they were saying King Seesaw.
I think, honestly, if I'm not mistaken, the way it was Romanized in the script was Seesar. Caesar. Instead of Caesar. That or they were trying to match mouth flaps.
Gotcha.
One or the other. So, but general impressions of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Just off the top of the dome piece, it's funny. I don't know if I'm laughing with it or at it. I'll be fair. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen or tokusatsu stuff. I mean, it's pretty good.
It's not the worst thing you've watched for this show.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's okay. Give it a shot. We watched it on some streaming thing, and it was fun. The suits are neat. The props are always fun because your internet just connected.
Yeah, it did.
The props are always fun because they look like giant toys to me. The blood was a little weird. I'm not used to seeing that, so that was kind of gross.
Yeah, neither am I.
Some of the fight scenes were very strange because the one guy was punching the other guy like this.
Yeah.
That was funny.
It was horrible, that's what it was.
Japanese Charles Bronson showed up.
Yes, there is a guy in there that's very much Japanese Charles Bronson.
Some of the things just aggravate me, like they have a box and it goes over the side of the boat. And then they're looking into the water like they're going to find the damn thing floating. That made me laugh. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. A nice little romp.
So, I prefer my Godzilla movies to have a certain amount of gravitas to them. This one doesn't.
No.
But,
unless you live in Okinawa.
Well, in all seriousness, my preferred era of Godzilla is the Heisei era Godzilla movies.
The black and white ones?
No, Heisei era is...
after Showa?
Yes.
Okay.
So that would start with the 1984 Godzilla that we watched.
I don't think I saw that.
You may not have been there for that one.
Is that when he's like even bigger and they're kind of going back to the whole he's a danger?
He eventually evolves back into being heroic, but it's never with tongue in cheek. He is bigger.
We
and
did
they
watch
treat him as more
something
serious.
where they had like a floating tank.
Yeah, that was 84.
Then I did see that because I remember he was going through the city and everybody was like, "This is a lot of trouble."
Those pictures look familiar.
And it's Godzilla.
No. Okay.
The flying tank does. I do remember that. So maybe I did watch it. It's just been a year and a half,
something like that.
So and then there was like a drunk guy and he was the comedy bit. I remember that.
Yes. Okay. So you remember 84. That's the beginning of the Heisei era Godzilla movies, and that's
I guess I've seen 5 Godzilla movies.
That's my favorite era, and there are some of the Millennium era movies, which was basically the last batch they did in Japan, that I do like. But the Showa era, you basically go from the original black and white movie.
Well, it was like the monster movies. It became a shtick.
Yeah, and it became slowly more and more and more as they went on for kids.
I mean, it just needed Godzilla to show up in an episode of Scooby-Doo, and Abbott and Costello meet Godzilla, and they would have covered all the bases.
Well, Hanna-Barbera did do a Godzilla cartoon for a while. That's actually where Gadzuki came from, which was horrible.
I don't know what a Gadzuki is.
You're blessed.
I'm sure it'll show up sooner or later.
Not on this show.
Somebody will hashtag it in the comments.
We're not watching
it on this show. If enough people get it,
No, we won't, because it's a cartoon.
Well,
y'all can watch that
we'll watch it on 8-Star.
Watch it on 8-Star. They can do that over there. But the Showa era got slowly and surely more and more ridiculous and ha-ha and more for kids and aimed at kids as they went on.
I mean, this one definitely would have been a fun summer film, easy.
It would have, but I think it actually veered further back to being...
if it went
for adults, I think it veered back to more towards being a slightly more serious. The way they handle everything, the alien invasion thing got done to death in the Showa era. They did it all the bloody time. I actually did try to sit down and think to myself, in the Heisei era, did they ever do an alien invasion story? And they didn't.
Wasn't there a Godzilla Planet of the Monsters? They ended up in space or something?
No. Planet of the Monsters is the one that was just came out on Netflix. That's the one that we've reviewed for 8
Right, that's the animated thing. No, I mean, I thought there was Godzilla Battle from...
Well, there's Invasion of the Astro Monster and Monster Zero, which may or may not actually be the same movie, just different titles. But there is a movie where aliens come to Earth. They ask to borrow Godzilla and Rodan to take them back to their home world on Planet X so that they can stop King Ghidorah.
Planet X.
Yeah, Planet X. Those damn X-aliens. They show up periodically in these movies just to screw with people. But this one, it's the latest of the alien invasion plots. It's got to me, it's got a lot of actually good monster action. They did not skimp on the special effects for this. That was another thing that happened to Godzilla as the Showa era went on, was they started using more and more stock footage and reusing a lot of stuff and just doing stuff on the cheap.
If I had to do a negative, I don't like Godzilla's humanistic behavior.
That's something that also came along. Yeah. That was Mechagodzilla that did the brush off as he was fighting Anguirus. But the Godzilla character, as the show progressed, also became more and more humanized. There's one movie where we have the Godzilla victory dance.
See, I tried to let this go because his eyes are kind of larger in here, and just like in anime, larger eyes are friendly, smaller eyes are bad guys. Godzilla shows up in the first movie, his eyes are this big. He shows up in this one, they look like Muppets.
So, my broad stroke of this one is, it's a fun movie, it's got lots of good monster action, actually got some really good special effects. The human characters do not annoy me overly much. Some of the human action outside of Japanese Charles Bronson, who cannot throw a working punch to save his life.
And he doesn't. He goes over the roof.
Yeah, and he
gets shot, gets thrown up.
So, yeah. So, that aside. What did we like about this movie, Dave?
What?
Was your... Sort of, if there's something you had to pick out, this is my favorite thing about this movie.
Wow, I think it is the people, now that you brought that up. Normally the people are... Well, in the first movie we watched it in Japanese with Perry Mason.
Yeah, we watched Godzilla King of Monsters, which is the American variation of it. Yeah.
So it was very hard to get a connection to any of the people because we are disconnected by the language barrier, and we only have Raymond Burr's character to connect with because he's explaining stuff to us. So it's very hard to get any connection to him. So Godzilla's obviously the one we know, the one we gravitate to, even though at that time he's a bad thing. The other movies, the characters are really not important. This one was kind of neat because it was like, here's a spy film dealing with aliens, and then there's a monster film going on at the same time. And I liked that, because if there was one side you didn't like, wait 15 minutes, the other story will pick up again. It had a very good A-B story, and I liked it.
Yeah, I'll go along with that. I did enjoy that. The human characters in Godzilla movies have a tendency to, in so many of them, they're just superfluous. It's
annoying narrators at worst.
Yeah.
And cheeky sidekicks at best.
Yeah. This is something that actually the Gamera movies fell into far worse than the Godzilla films did. But Godzilla had its moments. And when you get to like the Millennium Era, there are some Millennium Era movies where the human characters are... I could care less.
Didn't you make a joke about the music, like the music guy only had one job?
That was in the Godzilla Monster Planet review we did for Netflix, where they somehow failed to play the Godzilla theme at all.
I don't recall it in this one.
I think you fell asleep during it.
Might be fair.
There are certain things and aspects that just are annoying. But as far as what I really enjoyed, I really dug this. I really dug Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla has pretty much become my favorite monster almost in each era. I really love Mechagodzilla from the Heisei era in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. I really like Kiryu, which is Mechagodzilla 3 from the Millennium era, which is probably my favorite version. But the latter two versions are both heroic creations made by man and piloted by human beings. This is the origin of Mechagodzilla, where Mechagodzilla is basically a cold, calculating, killing machine. It is the Terminator as a giant robot dinosaur,
taking direct orders. But yeah, and his I'm sure I'm gonna say the word wrong. His autonomy,
yes,
is not quite established yet.
No,
he's doing on his own his programming, but they're giving him direct orders. Without him, he doesn't do anything. But yeah, I mean, Mechagodzilla is the Bizarro. He's the Reverse Flash. He's the Negaduck.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you like that style of character, I didn't like him in the costume once he came out because I didn't expect that. I always thought Mechagodzilla was, oh look, it's robotic Godzilla.
Right.
Right. I didn't know they tried to do the fake skin to discredit Godzilla.
Yeah.
He's Godzilla. He breaks cities, and there was at least one bridge destruction. So there was that.
Yes.
That was the other thing I was going to say was, with your love of wrestling, there are just like spots in the movie that seem to show up. The water boils, the lightning across the spines.
There are certain
screw that bridge.
Yeah, there are certain things that always pop up in these movies. There is the F your bridge moment. We didn't get the building. Well, we didn't get the breaking of the pagoda, which happens in a lot of the Godzilla movies. Yeah, at some point there's water boiling. At some point, the lightning striking Godzilla might have actually been one of my least favorite things in the movie.
No, I thought you generated it
himself. No. Well, when he's on the island and the lightning starts striking him, that's one of the things I liked least about it, because one of the things that the Godzilla series was a victim of over the years, especially in the Showa era, was they would write the movie with one thing in mind and then have to change it. For instance,
because they couldn't get the special effects, or because people would go, hey, let's not do nuclear anymore.
Well, no, I guess, for instance, initially the Godzilla versus Megalon was supposed to be Jet Jaguar versus Megalon, right. And they thought that the new character couldn't carry it, so they threw Godzilla in. Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, we call it here in the U.S., but in Japan it was called Ibra, Horror from the Deep. In that movie, it was supposed to be King Kong instead of Godzilla. And so as a result, in the movie, they really didn't change the script too much. So you have Godzilla getting powered up by lightning, which had never happened before. It had happened to King Kong in King Kong versus Godzilla. That's how King Kong would get powered up, as he gets struck by lightning. And they have the Fay Ray moment where the monster sees a beautiful woman and falls for her, and that's very much in character for King Kong, but it's Godzilla doing it in that movie. So here it almost felt like they were kind of carrying over
some of those other
one of the King Kong traits that they had to give to Godzilla.
Well, he did this thing, and then the high-powered electric crossed over him and looked like they were going to be bandoliers, and then the next thing they come back to him and he's gone. And all of a sudden he has magnetic powers. Yeah, it's supposed to be, the idea is supposed to be that the lightning hitting him basically gave him this electromagnetic power, which I'm like, at a certain point he becomes Superman from the 70s, where he does everything. Where a new superpower is invented for the story, yeah. Or the super kiss from Superman 2.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of my negatives is some of the cutaway scenes, some of the way they did stuff was just very jarring. They're getting a car and the guy's about to crank it up and he goes, wait a minute. And you're like, aha, he's a spy. His bomb sensors are tingling. I'm okay with that. He pulls out a rope. Next thing you know, there's a rope on the key and boom. And I'm like, where are the people? I mean, I know what's going on. Show it. Don't tell us.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I'm a very firm believer of the show don't tell philosophy of movie storytelling.
I mean, it's a visual medium for a reason.
Matter of fact, the other day I just went back and rewatched Dr. No, the very first James Bond movie.
Okay.
And that film is a masterclass in that, because so many of the scenes are just James Bond doing spy things, but he's not narrating what he's doing. You just see him do it. And then he'll go away for a while and he comes back and you'll see him check all the things that he set up and go, and you get the picture, oh wait, this was so he would know if someone came into his room.
Right.
Things like that. And in this film, in a lot of monster movies, you have no choice but to show, not tell, because the monsters can't talk unless it's that one Godzilla movie where they can. But
I don't know anything about that.
yeah, there's literally, actually I've got it. It's Godzilla
Well,
the Monster Island.
the pantomiming that the monsters do to a degree is nice. How they roar. I guess if you watch enough of it, you can start telling some.
No, I mean he actually says.
No,
hey,
I get what you're saying.
He actually goes, "Hey, Angerus, let's go." I mean, in the movie, but
and then they fist bump.
But in this film, yeah, the editing, certain bits of the editing does look like they edited it with a lawnmower. So
and we saw some wires, which were fun. Not a bad thing.
there were only a couple of instances.
And it was because they were lifting people up.
Yeah, and this is one of those cases where I've said this about other shows here. I think it's more to do with HD does not do this movie favors. If we were not watching it on a 55-inch HD TV, we wouldn't have seen the bloody wires.
That's funny. I was just telling someone the other day that after watching The Hobbit on a very large screen in HD, it takes you out of some of the fantasy because you can see the actors' contact lenses.
Yeah, exactly. So we were never meant to see this movie that clear. So
I'd watch it again.
You'd watch this again?
Not quickly, but yeah, I'd watch it again.
Yeah, it's fun. The most fun moment to me, like I said, I didn't care for the there were a couple things I didn't care for, but I didn't care for
King Kong stuff added.
Yeah,
to
I didn't care for that. I also did not care for the King Caesar musical number that came halfway through.
I kind of liked it.
Really?
I do. I think they should have done less. Okay, so it's kind of like Japanese rock and roll was going on in the background. Yeah. Lightly. Realize it's in the 70s. I think if they were going to do it... So the girl who shows up in the beginning, she's singing like this traditional dance thing, and then she has a vision. Yeah, she's a princess of Okinawa. So she sings down by the shore to awaken King Caesar. I think they should have done the traditional music with her song. So if it exists in that form, I think I would enjoy it a lot. In the movie, it was okay.
Yeah, I mean...
It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, as you put it, it's no Mothra song.
Yes, it's no Mothra song.
But, it annoyed me a little bit. I was like, really, do you have to do the entire 3-minute song? That was actually what got me. I would have been fine if they'd have done the one verse and carried on with everything.
Jim Nabors can sing during his TV show. This chick can sing during her movie.
Yeah, but it ain't her movie. It's Godzilla's. So little things like that annoyed me a little bit. But I really dug Mechagodzilla himself because in most of Mechagodzilla's appearances, like I said, he's a hero. So you don't see...
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So you don't see...
Does he get reprogrammed or something?
Well, no. In the 2 show appearances, he's a villain.
Well, you said somebody was a pilot in the other ones.
Yeah, in the later versions, the Heisei and the Millennium Era versions of Mechagodzilla, it's a pilot. It's actually a human piloted robot. One of them, they actually build Mechagodzilla off the bones. They use the bones of the 1954 original Godzilla as the infrastructure to build a Mechagodzilla.
That's kind of creepy.
It plays a huge part to the storyline because when the new Godzilla shows up and roars, it awakens the spirit of the original Godzilla, and Mechagodzilla goes berserk.
Because it's possessed by the ghost.
Because it carries the spirit of the original Godzilla.
And Act 1 shows up and...
Yeah. But typically it's a heroic robot, and you don't see it go just completely balls out.
Yeah,
Here you did.
Attack pattern Alpha Omega. He shot. He had tow missiles. He was shooting everything.
Tow missiles, kneecap missiles, finger missiles.
3-4 different laser beams.
Yeah, eye lasers, and there actually were weapons that were designed for him that you never see in the movie, just because they couldn't do the effects. And I know the effects on this movie actually took much longer than most Godzilla movies, if for no other reason than his eye beam was rainbow, and for the 70s, that's a very difficult effect.
And not only was it out of him, but King Caesar would absorb it in one eye and shoot it out the other.
It would reflect it back. So, your final thoughts on this, and something new we're introducing here on Denzicaster. Dave has not heard about yet.
I have not heard about it.
8-Star Anime rates things with 8 stars, and Chopsaki Cinema rates things on their 5 crane systems. So, as much as I've tried not to, we're going to do a rating system here on Denzicaster. Our rating system is very simple.
How many buildings would I knock over to watch this movie?
No. Our rating system is very, very simple. And if you ever watch Kane and Mike's Movie Night, we have our cell phones up, cell phones down system. So here it's very simple. It's either nope, it's all right, or yeah, I'll watch it. So...
Well, what's the difference between yeah, it's all right, and yeah, I'll watch it?
It's all right is... well, let me phrase it. It's all right or hell yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm going to put it in the middle. I mean, I would watch this again. I wouldn't probably watch it by myself, but... So, for example, I watched the Jet Jaguar movie with Charles. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, he'll find an old Godzilla film, and I'll sit down and watch it with him because it cracks me up. The movies are iffy for me, usually, mm-hmm. but other people enjoying them enhances me enjoying them.
Right.
So it'd be fun to share one back
mm-hmm.
with him or someone else. I would do that. But would I go out of my way to watch it by myself? No.
So this falls into the it's all right?
Yeah, it's in the middle.
For me, I'm actually going to give this one a hell yeah. I would actually go out of my way to own this one.
And this is the first time you've watched it in 30 plus years.
I've seen this movie one time in part, and it was 31 years ago. One of the things that makes this movie actually kind of significant to me is this is my first tokusatsu memory. Was sitting in a barbershop at age 6 and seeing it as a movie matinee.
One of those Saturday after cartoon movies.
Brought to you by Southern Windows and Siding.
Not only are our windows great, not only do we stand by them, they stand on them.
Yeah. But it was on one of those old movie matinees on Fox 21, yep. Back when it was just WHNS and Fox really wasn't a network yet.
Yeah, I don't even think it was Fox. I think it was just WHNS.
And it was on a little 13-inch color set.
That's funny.
That was at the barbershop. And the only reason I remember it is because I remember Mechagodzilla and Godzilla fighting.
Cool.
So this is my earliest tokusatsu memory. I say it because it's either this or Ultraman, and I remember this more vividly than Ultraman, because I remember seeing Ultraman on TBS years and years and years ago, too. But I did not remember the movie, have not seen it in 31 years. So, a lot of fun watching it. I do not think that this falls into Toku 101 territory, because I think you need to know kind of what Godzilla is before you ever set foot in this movie.
Yeah, if you don't know who Godzilla is, if you've never seen a tokusatsu movie, this is going to be a cheesy pile of crap.
Yeah. I think...
especially here in 2018.
Yeah, I think if you're... The original Godzilla, be it Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I think I'm controversial when I say...
His version.
Yeah, which I'm actually going to go out of my way to try to get.
Okay.
But to me, either version of the original is Toku 101, because that's where it starts.
It's art.
Yeah.
It transcends being entertainment or a story. It's a form of art.
Yeah. But this movie, it's entertaining as hell. If you are a Godzilla fan, and you've never seen it, check it out. If you want to see where Mechagodzilla begins and why he is portrayed in a lot of the comic books and whatnot as a complete badass, this is the movie to find out why. Or
if you like the miniseries from the 80s, V, the aliens kind of reminded me of that. So check that out, too.
So, folks, of course, we're thanking Dave for being here. Check out Dave, Chris, and the gang over on 8-Star Anime. Whoever shows up. Check out me if you go watch last week's episode. Of course, don't forget to comment on our last 2 Johnny Sacco videos for a chance to win Ultraman Season 1, Volume 1 on DVD. Don't forget to go comment and help out our players on the Empyrean Throne for L5R.
Check out the 2 stores for different clothing.
Yes. We have 2 of those now. CafePress.com/Geek Carolina is still there, but we also have our new Redbubble store, redbubble.com/people/Geek Carolina. This shirt here is actually one of our new designs. This is our Kamen Rider Build inspired t-shirt. You'll see it listed there as Build Up Style. So go check that out. There are certain ones that are exclusive to each individual store. For instance, we have our Rage Quit Radio shirt that says, "Keep calm because kaiju happen," and that one is only on our Cafe Press store.
Oh, since we're on Denzicaster, did you get a chance to see Pacific Rim 2?
I have not seen Pacific Rim Uprising.
Neither did
That is one that I definitely do want to see.
Kind of snuck out of the theater pretty quick.
Yeah, which scares me, to be honest. But I intend to get it when it comes out, and that's going to be on the agenda.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
The first one was excellent. I really enjoyed it.
Right, but I don't think it was like in the theaters very long either.
Yeah, I also don't think it set itself up for a sequel, but we'll find out. So, folks,
right, let's do this.
If you only came here for the review, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. If you saw the hilarity from last week,
you want to see a grown man put strange foods in his face.
Here we go again. So this is I'll let Dave smell the stopper here.
Oh, I like it.
So this is the Nissan Top Ramen Chicken. Because I refuse to let someone try this alone, I'm going to grab one myself. I already know what this crap tastes like, but
I'm going to probably like it.
But you can see here the color of this. It literally is like a Pringle, just with the package on it.
It looks good.
Yeah, go ahead and give that a shot there, Chief. See what you think. Why am I doing this again? I already knew it was garbage before I put it in my mouth. You like it? When we have everyone else try it, you can take the rest of the can home. But honest to God, you like this?
Mm-hmm. It tastes exactly like I thought it was going to taste. It tastes like ramen. See, one of my favorite ways to make ramen, I don't do it all the way, is boil the noodles, drain all the water off, put the packet on the noodles and mix it up. Mm-hmm. So you get a stronger flavor. Mm-hmm. You don't get any soup, but...
Yeah.
So I'm used to that.
Yeah.
That is exactly what it tastes like, a chip that has ramen noodles on it.
Yeah, that's
And chicken's my favorite.
Well, we should have known Dave would have liked it. But
how sandwich will travel, I mean.
Yeah.
I thought about bringing in some of the fudge rounds and having them too.
Well, one thing that you can bank on us doing here on future episodes is we just see random chips, snacks, or anything like that. Whether it's Asian inspired or not, you may see it randomly show up on an episode.
Okay.
Ambush people and try.
I did not know that. I'll have to start
coming back by Denzicaster.
Well, not only you get the free food, but maybe bring some.
Yeah. And these guys don't need a plug from me, but Critical Eats Japan is a wonderful channel, and that's actually kind of what inspired this. So if you get a chance, go check them out, and if they ask, let them know that Geek Carolina sent you. So, folks, thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Mike.
I'm David.
We'll see you next time on Denzicaster.